Hey y'all, it's me. I'm out here on my very crowded front porch, and I've got sawdust in my hair and sawdust all over me where I've been building much needed second shelf. I'm really hopeful that next year, by this fall, that we will have the grow room built in the basement. But I wanted to show y'all what's going on out here. And of course we have lots and lots of things growing. We have a few things. My celosia seed, or my cosmo seed, excuse me, I think some of them weren't so good. Some of them are great. They're coming along way too early, but we'll figure it out. And I think it had to do with, I had a packet of one color that was fresh and a packet of another color that wasn't so fresh. So that's what happens. And then down here, let me see, I have marigold, and then I have lemon mint, or lemon basil, which is used as a filler in flower arrangements. I have lots of basil growing here and there. I have some cinnamon basil and some lemon basil, and I have some celosia. I've got my tool bags under my feet, so it's hard to get back here. And this porch really isn't big enough to do this, but it's what I'm using this year again. And here we've got several trays of ageratum, and my gardening buddies will know what those are. Just beautiful little purple flowers. One of my favorites. Not really big enough to make a big statement, but the color is so pretty that it's just a splash. And then see over here, we have some celosia, and then again, it's very sporadic. So the celosia are going to get restarted this week. And we have some bee balm, otherwise known as Monarda, and I love that stuff. It's so very pretty. Let me see what do we have going on here. This is celosia feather. You can see where we let Noble in where we were working and didn't realize that he had gone into the room where we were putting these on the floor on heat mats, and he stepped on them, so he killed part of them. But there's a lot still coming on. You can see the little bitty dudes coming up. And down here, well, you can see down on the bottom shelf we have all sorts of things coming on, but we really desperately needed those other shelves over there because this coming, well, in 6 days we'll be starting our zinnias and our sunflowers. And the sunflowers will not be going in the little soil blocks. The zinnias will, believe it or not. But the sunflowers I'm going to put in these 128 cell trays. And they'll be used over and over again. My plastic, when I use plastic, I always wash it and disinfect it, and they're just used again and again. But anyway, it's getting warm in here. It's still a little bit chilly outside, and that grasshopper has been in this window that Hugh had knocked out, and he just super glued or something, a piece of plexiglass in here, because he had knocked this piece of glass out when we were bringing our wood stove in through this door. And this door is so sad, and I hope to either replace it. All of that down there was caused by a little doggy that lived here by the name of Beethoven when my mother-in-law and sister-in-law were alive, and if he got upset and needed in the house quickly, he would paw at the door fast and say, "Come get me, come get me." But anyway, look at this day. Just look at this day. It's gorgeous. The chickens are finally totally contained. But before that happened, they dug up just a few actually. I rescued most of it. But they dug up some of the, let me see, the snaps. So they're still coming on good. We had some really cold weather there last night and the night before, and it's supposed to be cold over the next few nights. But it looks like everything has survived pretty good. And the ones that I rescued and stuck back in the ground, it looks like they're gonna make it. So yay. But let's go over here and look at something that Hugh found the other day. I thought it was, I didn't look at it up close. The roses are coming on. I've got to fix the plastic again because those chickens, when they were out, of course, they dug it up. They're boogers. But the climber over there and the climber over there look like they're going to do well. And that one over there, remember I've told you that one's the yellow rose of Texas that has been here for, the story that we've been told is like almost 200 years. So it's just been moved around, and when it starts growing, it grows underground, and this thing is deadly looking. Look at it. It's just like, oh my goodness. It's not something that I really enjoy working with, but I will get my really long little pruners every now and then and prune it back. But it spreads underground. It just comes up everywhere. This one is doing okay. It needs trimmed up pretty good, and I need to fertilize all of them. This one is really sad looking. These are some that Aaron and Corey had bought last year and had set in different spaces, and I just put them all in this one bed. So I'll remind the two of them that Mother's Day is coming up, so maybe they'll bring me a rose to replace. This one is barely making it. You can see down at the bottom there's a little bit of growth, but it needs pruned all the way back because there's just all that dead. I don't know if it's going to make it or not. But anyway, so let's go over here. I want to show you this thing that I thought was the invasive rose that we have growing in this area. I can't think of the name of it right now, but any of y'all that live in the southeast, you will know. It's a floribunda. That's what it is. And the farmers especially that just hate it because it just takes over their pastures and it's a constant fight. But I wanted to show you, look at that. Since I talked to you the other day when we were loading up the Jeep, it has put out, even though it has been so very cold. So I can't wait to see it open on up. Hey, little dogwood. And then over here is another dogwood. This one that I thought was a dogwood, I wasn't paying attention to the blooms, but Hugh said, no, that's a serviceberry. So I don't think he called it a serviceberry. He called it a, I can't remember how he said it. It's the southern way. But over here, what I thought was a floribunda rose, I am not really sure what this thing is, but it is so pretty. Chelsea pulled it up online and she told me, but I don't remember the name of it. And I'm thinking that it's probably another rose that Aaron and Corey probably set out here last year. I'll have to tell them to come over here and look at it the next time they come over. Isn't that pretty? It's just beautiful. Let me see if I can get it up close for you. I'm sure that some of y'all, my little gardening buddies, will know what this is. Look at that. It's just a teeny tiny little thing, but it's so pretty. Yeah, and it looks like it spreads because it's coming up in several different places. So, yeah, I might dig some of it up and put some over closer to the house. But anyway, so the Jeep is gone. Got to come over here with the tractor and my loading bucket so that I can load up a bunch of the trash. The tires will be going to the recycling center. The wood will be going back to the wood pile. And the cinder blocks will be busted up further and be going to where we need a little bit of extra gravel. And our little roadways going down to the barn. And Aaron is going to come after these wheels because the wheels are aluminum and the wheels are something that he is going to melt down and use in some art projects that he's he's doing right now, which scares me, honestly. It really does, because he has to melt this aluminum down. I think he has to go up about 1600 degrees. But I mean, he's done it before. He knows what he's doing. It just, you know, mamas, it just worries me. Anything like that. Here's a big piece of slate over here. Don't know what he's doing over here. But yeah, just cleaning up over here. And Chelsea and I brought some of the wood that we used over in the bird lot, because the idea that I have for the little stand that's going over there in that corner, and see how cool that is, because it stays shady most of the day. So the little stand, the little retail stand I was telling y'all about, it will stay as cool as it can possibly stay outside, obviously, but it doesn't really start getting the full sun until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then by say 6 or 7, it's already going down behind that little ridge of mountains over there. But probably 6 o'clock, I'll go ahead and come out, and if there's any vegetables, I don't know that we're going to stick any vegetables. I'd rather almost just take them to the community kitchen over in Canton and let them use them when we have extra. But yeah, I'd say it's coming along, but it just looks like a really big mess right now. It just really does. And some of this is just trash wood that needs to be gotten rid of, and it will be. But yay. Huey's waving. Hey, Huey. He's been repairing fence all day. That is a never-ending job in the life of a farmer that has domestic animals, cattle and sheep and whatever. I just think it's a never-ending job. But yay. Let's go over here and get the fence for him so he doesn't have to get off the tractor again. I got it. What you doing? What you got there, Pops?
Red oak log, so I sawed it into four.
Oh, Pops has been taking this wood that he saw, and that's red oak. Isn't that pretty? Yay. And he's been taking it up there and putting it in the little barn so that it can dry. Because, well, let me let him on through. Because I'll have to go up here and lift it. Okay, he said leave it open. Because the back of the house where Hugh and I are going to be moving sometime this year, he's got to build the porch, that big porch back there. He and Aaron will get it built, and we will build a really barely sloping ramp for all my senior dogs, but that has to be done before we can go back to the back of the house. But the back of the house, if you remember when Aaron had taken up the carpet back there, that flooring, I mean, it was 100 years old. The floor is just really rough, really rough. So there's places that he'll have to take a big planer and plane it down smooth. And this is the wood for that porch. Some of it's probably warped up a little bit where the plastic has blown off of it. Looks like it. No, I'm not getting into that right now. But that porch will be good size, and that has to be the first thing that's taken care of before we can move back here. But this is where the flooring will be. In the back of this house, he will be putting down red oak flooring in the living room and the bedroom and the little entryway. Will be beautiful. All right, I'll take you down here and what I showed you the other day, or what I don't know if I told you that I was doing this the other day, and I'm not certain about it yet. I'm still on the fence as to whether I'm going to do this or not. I think I would almost, well, I know I would rather hoe than to fight with this plastic. But we've got what was left of one roll of plastic down. The holes are not cut in it. We won't cut the holes in it until we're ready to start planting. But so we've got one big long row, and Chelsea stepped these rows off. They're much longer than I thought they were. 100 and she says they're between 125 and 135 according to her stride. And she used to be in a forestry group, so her stride was measured often. Or an orienteering group, I think that's what it's called. But so anyway, we've got that much plastic down, and I'm kind of thinking that I've got another whole row over here that would probably do another maybe 4 rows. And it will really, if I do it, it's going to be just kind of an experiment to just decide if it's worth it, because it's a lot of trouble. And I have the little razor hoe. If you've ever seen that, it's kind of like, it's a Japanese hoe, and it looks like a giant razor that you put in like a big X-Acto knife. And you just kind of rake it across the top of the soil, and you have to do it regularly. You can't let the weeds get ahead of you. But you get out every morning and just hoe a little bit for 15 or 20 minutes, and then the next morning you start where you left off and go again, and just, you never stop hoeing. It's just part of your daily routine. But you're just basically cutting the heads off of the little guys, the little teeny tiny weeds, and not ever letting them get established, so that by the time the plants that you put in the ground are, say, 10 inches tall, you're ahead of them. And then you can put the plastic, it's like a plastic netting. It's what we've used for growing our beans on forever. But you lay it down over top, and then you stake it into the ground, and it ends up kind of hovering about 18 inches or so above your bed, so that as your plants grow up, they grow up through that, and strong winds are less likely to damage the plants permanently. It can damage them, it can knock them over, but cut flowers typically are cut flowers that use for retail are typically pretty tall. They're anywhere from 24 to 36, 48 inches tall. So it's a big deal to kind of keep them from blowing over in a strong wind. And you can see today, I mean, it's pretty breezy right now. I don't know if you can tell from the trees. If the trees had leaves on them, it would be bending them pretty significantly. But even those without any leaves, you stand still, you can watch them move pretty good. Just little gusts every now and then. But I also noticed that my mountain mint is doing wonderfully. Yay. We did apparently lose one of them, but that one, I showed it to you a couple weeks ago, and you can see how much it's grown since then. Let's go down and see if we can see the other one. I'm hoping it was just a slow to emerge. I don't think so. I think we lost that one. Well, maybe not. That could be it. I don't know. We'll see in a couple weeks. But I do want the mountain mint to just kind of take over this fence line. It serves multiple purposes. It's wonderful for honeybees. Draws in all kinds of beneficial predators and beneficial pollinators, but it repels deer. Isn't that strange? Of course, this whole field is surrounded with cattle fence, and a deer could easily just flat-footed across there. But that one's looking nice and big. But I'm thinking that if there's mountain mint growing all the way down through there, and if it's something they don't like, that they'll just come up close and say, ew, I don't want whatever that field has to offer. But yay, just look at these trees with all the red on them. I think that's so pretty when the red starts budding out. I love this time of year almost as much as I like fall, but it's beautiful. So beautiful. And you can see where the bird lot ends down there. When I finish this dog lot, because when we move back here, my doggies will be going into this lot. I want to start there from the corner of the bird lot and come this way, and then we'll be going straight across then to the corner of the house beside where to the corner of the porch, I guess will be more like it. Yeah, so to the corner of the porch. But then that'll get my critters back here, a nice big area. Aaron's doggy, we had talked about doing that with his doggies back here because they were much younger and more energetic than my old dudes. But we never moved that fence, so since I'm going to build it out of wood, it'll be nice to keep the fence that's already there in place until I get the wooden fence built, and then we can tear that one down. But yay. Just still lots and lots going on. Chelsea works graveyards on Friday nights and some other nights as well. We're trying to predetermine when that's going to be because she's a sleep tech. So today she had a couple of tests. This is the end of the year for her. She will be graduating with her bachelor's in May, and then she will be pursuing her master's in counseling. So right now I told her, I said, get your schoolwork done this morning and sleep a little this afternoon before you have to go to work tonight. So there was no way she could have helped me with what I was doing on the porch. It's barely enough room for one person to work in there. So, but I think I'll go up here and sift a little bit of dirt because I need some dirt. I need to make some soil blocking soil so we can get lots and lots and lots more plants started. It's getting exciting for me, guys. I appreciate all of you. Look how green. Is that not just the craziest thing? I think that's one of the reasons that the Scots Irish were so drawn to this area. That's mostly who settled here in the Appalachian Mountains, just because it looked so much like the Emerald Isle. It looked like home to them. But that's who my family were: Scottish, Irish, Welsh, English, and Cherokee. We ran the gamut. But anyway, I hope your day is beautiful. Look at all the babies. They've got their belly full. Hugh let them up in that pasture. He gave them just a little section of it. He said because they were acting like they were hungry. No, those cattle have never been hungry. And as a matter of fact, we have a vet through our co-op that we pay a yearly fee just to have vet services, so that we can actually do like a call visit with our veterinarians, especially for the big animals. And if it's something that we can talk through, explain what's happening, then the veterinarian can, it's like a teledoc, can give the medication or tell you what to do to treat them over the telephone, and you don't have the expense of having a veterinarian come to the property. But he came about a month ago, and he looked at our cattle, and he told Hugh, he said, your cows are too fat. I said, how can they be too fat? Because we don't feed grain. The only time Hugh gives them a little bit of grain is once a week when he calls them, and that's just to keep them interested, so that when he calls them, if they were to get out of the gate or what, out of the fence, he can call them and they will come. They will come from wherever they're at when they hear him give his little signal yell. And so he looked over at our hay ring and he said, do you keep that much hay out for them all the time? And he said, well, yeah. And our vet said, well, you probably need to let them get a little hungry every now and then, because they're too fat. That to me was so funny. But so I've had to kind of corral Hugh. He'll look over there at the hay ring. He said, I need to go put a roll of hay in there. I said, no, you don't. Leave the cattle alone. Let them finish eating that all the way down, and then you can give them some more hay. But anyway, he's as protective and funny about his cattle as I am about my doggies. And it's funny. All right, y'all. Enjoy the day wherever you're at. We've had some cold weather, dear. And as a matter of fact, it snowed yesterday. It snowed pretty much all day, just off and on, just blowing. This morning we woke up and there was some white stuff on the trucks and white stuff on the porches, or on the back porch where the dogs go down. And it's just, I mean, that's not totally unusual here. It's just, you know, when you've had 2 weeks of like 60s and 70-degree weather, it's just kind of hard on it hurts your feelings. All right, sweet ones. I hope your day is beautiful. This day is obviously beautiful. And I'm going to go in and have some lunch and put my feet up for a minute and start working on soil block mixture. Love you much. Bye-bye.